Hello dear student, myself Miss Sheila Purnima, HOD of Department of Pharmacognosy. In this video we are going to learn about the evaluation of a crude drugs, where we know that crude drugs are very prone to the adulteration, therefore it is necessary to evaluate these crude drugs. This crude drug evaluation is generally carried out for testing the quality, safety and purity of the crude drug. The methods of evaluation it includes first, that is organoleptic method, second microscopic method, third chemical method, fourth one physical method, and fifth one biological method. So one by one we are going to start with these methods. First one, that is the organoleptic method of evaluation, where it includes the qualitative evaluation, which is based on the morphological and sensory profile, where the macroscopic appearance of the drug is evaluated. It refers to the evaluation by color, odor, taste, size, shape and special features like touch, texture, etc. Morphological features are useful in identification as well as determination of the adulterants in the drug, where the morphological evaluation of a particular plant is carried out by means of its bark, leaves, flowers, fruits, seeds and herbs, where the sensory characters it includes color, odor, taste, texture are studied for the particular evaluation. Color, where if the color drug is dried in a shade, it contains dark color than the sunlight exposed drug. Odor, it is generally carried out for the drugs which are having volatile oils. Taste, where the different drugs these are showing the different taste. For example, glycyrrhiza and honey possess sweet taste, capsicum and ginger possess pungent taste, and isabgula possess mucilaginous taste. While the fracture, it is nothing but after breaking a particular part of a drug, it is showing a particular characteristic structure. So that is nothing but the fracture. Ginger is having fibrous fracture and aconite is having horny fracture. Then regarding the advantages, that is, it is easy method of evaluation, help in identification, no special equipment and experimentation is required, and help in deciding the purity of a drug. While the disadvantages are like large quantity of a drug is required, limitation of sensory organ of a human being, chances of sample to sample variation because every person predicts its own color, odor and taste, less helpful for unorganized, liquid and powdered drug. Then second method, that is the microscopic evaluation, where generally microscopes are used for evaluation. Microscopic evaluation help in identification of variety of a drug and its adulterants. Microscopic description of a drug in a sectional view and powdered form is listed in different official monographs, where the microscopic evaluation allows more detailed examination of a drug and can be used for identification of organized drug by their histology, that is microscopy. For this purpose, observation under the microscope, the sections are taken such as longitudinal section and transverse section, LS and TS, or by just evaluating the powder drug under the microscope, where this is the microscopical structure of a leaf and the different staining reagents are used, which shows the staining of a particular part of a microscopy, and therefore it becomes easy to identify that particular part in the microscopy. This method also includes quantitative microscopy, which is generally used for the evaluation, that is microscopic linear measurement and quantitative measurement. In microscopic linear measurement, it includes determination of diameter of a calcium oxalate crystal, diameter of a starch grain, length of a phloem fibers. And quantitative measurement, it includes stomatal number, stomatal index, vein islet number, vein termination and palisade ratio. These are the images which are related to this microscopic or quantitative microscopical evaluation. Then advantages are, this method requires small quantity of sample, no variation in observation, it gives idea about substitution and adulteration, it confirms the purity of a drug. While the disadvantages are, it requires skilled person for evaluation, no much information is given regarding the quality of a drug, and little applying for the unorganized drugs and the oils. Then the third method, that is the chemical evaluation, where the particular chemical compounds are identified by means of different chemical tests. It comprises of different chemical tests and chemical assays to identify chemical compounds. The isolation, purification and identification of active constituent are the chemical method of evaluation, where the quantitative chemical estimation is also carried out or evaluation is also carried out, which includes acid value and saponification value for the quantitative chemical test. The presence of chemical constituent with amount can also be determined, and it determines the quality and purity of a drug, while it gives idea about extraction of the particular components by means of its solubility, because by means of chemical test we are going to know particular type of a chemical compound which is present, and on this basis we can also assume the particular pharmacological action which is exerted by that particular component. It is costly method. Disadvantages are like it is costly method as it require heavy instruments. Skilled persons are generally required for such kind of evaluation. Fourth method, that is the physical evaluation. In this method, it is essential for determination of quality and purity of a drug. In this method, physical constants are determined such as moisture content, viscosity, solubility, boiling or melting point, optical rotation, refractive index, RF value, volatile oil content, foreign matter, extractive value, spectroscopic analysis and the ash value. So we will go one by one. Moisture content, that we know moisture is very prone to the microbial attack and the enzyme action. So because of moisture there occur deterioration of the crude drug, which is ultimately result into the decrease in the quality of that drug, and therefore the method such as Carl-Fisher method is used for the determination of a moisture. Viscosity is a viscosity of a liquid is a constant at a given temperature and is an index of its composition. The next, that is solubility. The presence of adulterants can be determined by solubility study, where these adulterants are responsible either to decrease or increase the solubility. For example, castor oil is soluble in 3 volumes of 90% alcohol, while adulterated form shows good solubility in the alcohol. And fourth one, that is boiling and melting point. These are used to determine the purity of a drug. Pure compounds give very sharp and constant melting point, and it is used for evaluation of solid, fixed oils and waxes. The fifth, that is optical rotation. Certain substances shows property of rotation of a plane of polarized light in pure form. Some are dextrorotatory and some are levorotatory, where the optical rotation is determined by polarimeter. Sixth one, that is refractive index. It is the ratio of velocity of a light in a vacuum to velocity of light in substance. It is a physical constant and useful for determination or standardization of volatile and fixed oils, and it is measured by means of a refractometer. Then seventh one, that is RF value. And the paper and thin layer chromatography are important, by which qualitative and quantitative estimation of a drug can be performed. RF means the relative flow, and which is determined as RF value is equal to distance covered by solute divided by distance covered by solvent. Eighth one, that is volatile oil content. So drug containing volatile oils are evaluated by using the Clevenger apparatus, where the glow oil contains not less than 15% of volatile oil. So this method is generally used for the drugs which are containing the volatile oils. Then foreign matter. So it is very difficult to get a crude drug in a pure form, because it contains some kind of a matter in it, such as other parts, animal excreta and other organic matter. So the maximum limit for this foreign matter is also given in the monograph, and according to that the crude drug possesses the particular limitations for this foreign matter. Extractive value, that is the crude drug contain the different kinds of chemical constituents which are soluble in a different solvent. So on that basis, these solvents such as water, alcohol, chloroform, ether, these are used, and these are extracted by means of process such as maceration, percolation and sausalation. Then 11th method, that is the spectroscopic analysis, which includes certain molecules of a drug has capacity to absorb vibration at a specific wavelength and is used as a parameter for determination. Different phytochemical groups are determined by spectroscopy, such as alkaloids and glycosides, etc. Then 12th parameter, that is the ash value, where for determination of a total ash content, a known quantity of a air-dried vegetable drug is incinerated in a muffle furnace in a silica crucible, and whatever the ash it is remaining, that is known as the total ash, and which is calculated on the basis of initial weight of a crude drug that is to be taken. And also the other ash values such as acid insoluble ash, water soluble ash, these are also determined in the ash values. Then advantages are, that is useful for organized and unorganized drug, and the purity of the drug is also determined. While disadvantages are, changes in the observations may occur, no information about quality of a drug, and the skilled persons are required for performing this physical evaluation. Then the fifth method, that is the biological evaluation, in which the biological activities of a particular crude drug are tested, and these biological activities are dependent on the chemical moieties or the chemical compounds which are present in the particular crude drug, and the different biological activities such as hepatoprotective activity, hypoglycemic, anti-inflammatory, anti-ulcer, and etc. These are performed, and the study is generally carried out on the different animals such as rats, rabbits, monkeys, etc. And according to that, the drug is evaluated for a particular pharmacological action or the biological action, where the advantages of this method are to it determine the potency of a drug. Then it gives idea about the quality of a drug. It is used when other method of evaluation are not used, and it is used to study effect of drug on various systems also. And disadvantages are, that is it is an expensive, time consuming, and less precious than the chemical method of evaluation, and the quantitative accuracy is less. So this is regarding the biological evaluation, and which is again one of the important evaluation method for just checking the pharmacological actions of the crude drug, so that according to that medicinal values of a crude drug can be decided, and on that basis the crude drug is used for the treatment purposes. Okay, so these are the different 5 methods of evaluation of a crude drug which are generally carried out to test the quality, purity of that particular drug, and thus it also helps to identify a particular crude drug whether it is adulterated or not. Okay, so this is regarding the evaluation of. So remember all these methods of evaluation properly. With examples you have to write these methods in detail. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Please like and share this video, and for getting more learning videos regarding this pharmacognosy subject, please subscribe this video. Thank you very much.